to Simmy's Christmas cooking session. Today we're making a veggie Wellington or sausage roll. So let's take a look at the ingredients. Now you should all have your recipe cards sent out with you. We've got some sweet potatoes, about 2 to 3, chopped up into small chunks. We've got about 200 grams of mushrooms, we've got a couple of handfuls of spinach, 200 grams of butter, a couple of garlic cloves, we've got your puff pastry there, and then we've got all your spices and herbs ready to go. Now you've all been given a chilli, but I'm actually going to use chilli powder because I don't have a fresh chilli today, and then obviously a bit of oil. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, preheat your oven to about 180 degrees to get that nice and warm. And then you're going to take your puff pastry sheet out of the packaging, and if you just roll it out onto a baking tray, just be gentle with it, roll it out, and then you can leave the greaseproof paper underneath, that's fine, it's oven proof, and then I just want you to put that to one side, we'll come back to it later. Okay, next we're going to take your olive oil, and I just want you to put a bit of a dash onto a roasting tin, don't have to be specific, and then get your sweet potatoes. You should have peeled and chopped these into nice small chunks, and just lay them out, bang them in onto the roasting tin. And then sadly I've not got a fresh chilli, but if you've got your fresh chilli all chopped up nice, I just want you to sprinkle it over the sweet potato. I'm just using my chilli there, get all that in. Same with your turmeric, I just want you to add that in. Just cover the sweet potatoes, they're all nice. And then if you've got a wooden spoon or whatever, you can just use your hands actually, and just mix that all in so that the sweet potatoes are all nice and covered in oil and in spice. There we go. And then that's going to go into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so while your sweet potatoes in the oven, we're going to crack on with the rest of the filling. Now I want you to get a pan, a frying pan or whatever you have, onto a low to medium heat, just so that warms up a bit. Okay, and then we're going to get your butter, 20 grams, and you're just going to put it in like this, so it melts nice and slowly. Lovely. Now I've already pre-chopped up my garlic, but make sure you get it nice and fine, nice and small. And you're going to pop that in with the butter as well. It's going to make a lovely, creamy, garlicky mixture. Now just make sure that you keep your eye on that so that the garlic doesn't burn. You don't want the garlic to go brown. You want it to be nice and toasted, but not brown at all, not burnt. So you can see that's making a nice paste, and then you're going to take your mushrooms, which again will be nice and chopped up into kind of fine chunks, and they're going to go in as well. Nice and easy. And then you can stir that up with your spoon just to get all the butter and all the garlic all over the mushrooms. I'll just leave that on a low heat for a little bit. Okay, so while your pan's sizzling and we're getting all the nice flavours out of the mushrooms, we're actually just going to check that our sweet potatoes are happy. So, take them out, just use your spoon just to turn them over, just to make sure they're cooking nice and evenly. They're going to be lovely and flavoursome. Still a bit hard, but that's fine, we'll just bang them back in. And if your 15 minutes are up and they're still a bit hard, that's not a problem, just put them back in again. Okay, so we'll come back to the pan. So look, those mushrooms are lovely and brown now. You can see that the butter mixture is all condensed into the mushrooms, which is lovely. So we're going to take our spinach and we're just going to pop them in as well. Now you can actually use quite a lot of spinach if you have it, a full bag, or just a couple of handfuls like that, because actually it wilts down into the mixture quite a lot. So again, we'll just leave that sizzling. You can mix it in if you like, and it'll melt down and go a lovely dark green colour. So as you can see, all the spinach has wilted down. Lovely. So we're going to get the sweet potato out of the oven. Now they should all be cooked through now. And what you're going to do is, if you can, lift up your pan like that, and you're just going to pour all the sweet potatoes into the mixture with the pan. Just get them in whatever which way you can. Just to say here, be really careful when you're transferring the sweet potato into the pan. The pan's really hot, so either use an oven glove or just use a spoon to take the sweet potato out, or just get somebody to help you. And all the rest of the spices as well. And then move that over. And then once again, you're going to mix all that in together. So now we've got the lovely spicy sweet potatoes with the garlicky mushrooms. So there's going to be some lovely flavours in there. And then just as a last little flourish of flavour, we're going to add, I've got some mixed herbs here, but you can use rosemary, would be quite nice, or whatever you have, or if you don't have anything, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to use a wee pinch like that, sprinkle over, and the same with some salt and pepper, just to season. A bit of black pepper in there, and then a wee sprinkle of salt. Like that. And then mix in. Lovely, it's lovely and colourful. And I'll just move those out of the way. Now we're going to go back to the puff pastry sheet which we had before, and this is the fun bit. We'll take that pan off the heat, and we're going to spoon the mixture from the pan onto the puff pastry sheet. Now the plan is we can get it nice and into the middle so that you've got a wee border around the pastry, so that when it rolls up, none of the mixture falls out. So just spoon that in best you can. I just want to pour it on like that actually. And it's alright if there's quite a lot. If it falls out, it's not the end of the world, it's all tasty stuff. Get all your mixture on. And like I said, try and get it into a square so you're mimicking the rectangle, but you're not going right up to the edge. If your hands are nice and clean, you might want to use your hands just to make sure it's nice and even. So it's fine if you get the pastry a bit messy, because this is just going to be on the inside. Just like that, that'll do. And then we're going to roll up the pastry. So this bit's a bit fiddly, obviously with it being on the thing. So you're going to roll up, I've got a little bit left at the end, but that's fine because we can just make that a bit lumpier. And then you're going to try and contain all the mixture on the inside of the pastry. Now it is a bit fiddly because, as you can see, as it heats up, the sticks to And this is the moment where she knew she made a mistake. Basically, I didn't allow the mixture to cool down before I put it onto the pastry. So what happened was the hot mixture burned a hole in the pastry, so I couldn't roll it up nice and smoothly. So when you're doing it, just make sure that you wait for the mixture, the filling, to cool right down before you put it onto your pastry, and that way you'll be able to roll it up and everything will stay intact together. Make sure you get it into a nice smooth big sausage. Okay, now your sausage is all rolled up, we're going to put it into the oven. Now when you're doing all these hot bits, make sure that you're using oven gloves to put things into the oven and taking them out. get someone to help you if you need. And because the oven's nice and hot, that just needs to be in for 10, maybe 15 minutes, but just keep your eye on it until it goes nice and golden brown on the top. Right, let's see the finished product. My sausage roll's been in for about 20 minutes, so it should be nice and golden brown on the top. So take it out, lovely. Now, as you can see, without a mistake earlier, all my vegetables are seeping out the sides, but as we all know, you never judge a book by its cover, and you never judge a pastry by the looks either. Hopefully it'll taste lovely. We're going to have ours nice and hot for lunch with some greens on the side and a bit of gravy maybe. But another thing you can do with it is you can wait for it to cool, chop it up into nice slices and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours and have it as wee sausage rolls in a kind of buffet style. So yeah, enjoy. Pause the video.